Welcome back to Fall, Day 25 and 26 of the Stardew Valley Min-Max and 100% Perfection Guide. Today, on Day 25, another harvest of 960 pumpkins is ready, so we will be harvesting those and replanting them with the wheat seeds since we have a few more days left of fall. It is also a stormy weathered day, which means we can get battery packs from our lightning rods, and we can also use a rain totem today to guarantee a stormy weather day tomorrow. And in addition to that tomorrow, we will be having a super luck skull cavern dive with 2 magic rock candies, so it should turn out to be a fun and lucrative one. For now, let's get started with day 25. Last time, we did have that cutscene with Caroline, so we did indeed receive the tea tree recipe in the mail from her. We also got a recipe for the stone chest from Robin, since we completed her Resource Rush special order quest. I liked the stone chests since they do cost 50 stone instead of 50 wood, and we have less use for our stone than for wood, and the different type of chest also gives a nice variety aesthetically. Last time we also reached foraging level 10 and chose the botanist profession, so we will now get iridium quality from all forageables, and that includes the ones we grow on our farm, like these ones here, that I did have to make some space for, so we do a bit of reorganizing of the chests here. I also sometimes like to include some footage of what's actually inside of my chests, just so you can stay updated to all of the crops and whatnot that we've stocked up on. Then I'll skip over finding everything we need to bring with us, and before we head off for the day, we are going to start harvesting our pumpkins. Now, a while ago I did mention that I found pumpkins to be the better choice over cranberries for the fall crop. This is because pumpkins end up making a higher profit when not kegged or processed in any way, and the 3 harvests take up overall less time than the cranberries, since cranberries would take 5 harvests, although we would only need to plant them once rather than 3 separate times, like with the pumpkins. However, I was left a very insightful comment on my fall day 1 through 2 video regarding cranberries and some very interesting strategies with them, so if you are interested in checking that out, give it a read. Basically, something that I did not consider is cranberries' potential to be put in seed makers for the chance to be turned into ancient fruit seeds and the extra profit from selling them as actual seeds rather than the fruit itself. However, there would be a lot of work in crafting many seed makers and processing all of the cranberries. The good thing about pumpkins is we can just sell them for a decent extra chunk of cash without much effort. Maybe if I ever do another min-max run in the future, I'll look more into cranberries and their potential for fall, but obviously for this run, we've already went with the pumpkins. And we are now about halfway done with harvesting our pumpkins. I did quickly grab a sturgeon from a chest because I do want to put that sturgeon in our newly built fish pond. All fish, when you put them in the fish pond, will start producing roe occasionally, and the unique thing about the sturgeon roe is that when you put it in the preserve jar, it'll turn into caviar, so that's a unique item that you do need a sturgeon to end up getting, unlike the aged roe, which can be gotten from any other type of fish roe. We're gonna fast forward, skip over harvesting the rest of these pumpkins, and after we finished harvesting them all, we're gonna harvest those fall forageables that are ready. It's nice timing since we are foraging level 10, they're all gonna be iridium quality, and then we'll put these away in our chests, grab some wheat seeds to replant with now, and start replanting the wheat. We are mainly just planting all of this wheat since wheat is super cheap, the seeds are super cheap to buy, and we have all of this farm space that would otherwise not be being used, so we might as well take a little bit of time to plant these wheat seeds, get the wheat. We can sell the wheat if we really want to, we wouldn't make too much profit, but we could also turn them into beer if we really wanted to. Probably won't. We're going to be using most of our kegs for turning our starfruit into wine. But the one thing that is nice about harvesting wheat is we get a bunch of hay from it, so we can use that hay to feed our animals. So that's probably the best thing we'll get out of wheat. And real quick, we're gonna stop planting wheat, head back up to our crafting bench up here, and we wanna craft some lightning rods. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 18 lightning rods to place on our farm. Since it is storming, we will have a better chance at getting more battery packs. Then we're gonna skip over planting the wheat until we stop again to place the lightning rods. The way lightning rods work has a little bit of a complexity to it, but basically the more lightning rods we have, the more battery packs we will get, which is a pretty fair assumption. However, as we place more and more lightning rods, we get a more diminishing return on our investment, since we only get a certain amount of lightning strikes per day, and this is actually influenced by our luck. However, apparently lightning strikes are considered to be unlucky, so the worse luck of the day, the more lightning strikes there will be, and with better luck, there will be less strikes. Anyways, it is still good to place a bunch of lightning rods on the farm, because although there is a limited amount of strikes, when a rod on the farm gets struck, there is a less chance for the next strike to be intercepted by a rod each time. But with the more rods we have, the slower this chance diminishes. If you are interested in the precise formula, I recommend checking out the lightning rod page on the wiki. But anyways, after planting those wheat seeds, we head off for the secret woods, and although we've already reached foraging level 10, it is still nice to collect a bunch of hardwood. Hardwood is always useful. And then we're gonna warp to the desert since it is Thursday, and you may also have noticed I have a bunch of geodes on me. Now, what am I gonna use those geodes for? Turn them into a bunch of artifacts troves and min-max the geode predictor? Nope. I'm gonna buy a magic cowboy hat. If we want to have a good min-max and perfection run here, we need to make sure we look good while doing so. But we have to take it off for now. We can't wear it until the time is right. And that time will be on a super luck day when we do our next Skull Cavern dive with double magic rock candy. We want to make sure we go in style when we do that, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, we are doing that tomorrow, so we'll go hatless for now, and we'll save that hat for tomorrow. Now, I know it could be argued that that was a big waste of our Omni Geodes, but I really didn't want to turn them all into artifact troves and then go through the Geode Predictor just to get a bunch of treasure chests and other valuable items like that. In the end, it really wouldn't be making us all that much extra profit as compared to like all of the profit we're going to make from our starfruit wine, which will be more than enough to afford the gold clock and all the obelisks and anything else we need for perfection. But anyways, after that trip to the desert, which mainly served to pick up the weekly Thursday magic rock candy anyways, we harvest some more yams, and then we come into our greenhouse where some coffee beans and strawberries are ready. And there's a good chance we might be planting some strawberries in the spring, even though I think for year 2, the most ideal thing would to be have the whole farm filled with ancient fruit, and then the ginger island filled with starfruit, since that can grow all year round. And on the main farm, we can only grow starfruit in the summer. So for the main farm, I think ancient fruit is a little bit better, since we can get 10 harvests, since it takes 2 weeks to grow, and then we get another 10 harvests after that until winter comes and they die. So I do think ancient fruit will be the best option, but we probably won't have enough seeds. I am trying to grow more in the greenhouse and then seed all of them, and then we will fill up the greenhouse more. We can also try to grow some ancient fruit on Ginger Island, maybe during the winter, although they do take 2 weeks to grow, so it might not be worth it. But we'll see what happens. We are gonna have plenty of money by the end of year 1 with our starfruit wine. So whatever crop setup we go for in year 2 is just gonna be mainly for extra money for fun. Right here, I'm grabbing a bunch of animal products, and I did put a duck egg in the incubator just to have that going. We have some space in our coop, so why not get another duck? I'm going to do some processing here, going through chests, just taking care of all of the farm chores that we didn't get to yet. And sometimes I do want to show myself just doing kind of these tedious tasks just so you can kind of see how I do them. I do try to do all this as fast as possible and as efficiently as usual for the run. And very often these things like processing milk or eggs in the artisan machines or putting crops in the seed maker, I will cut out of the footage just because they are repetitive, but also I just wanted to make point of these actions since they are a part of maximizing the in-game day. Something I mentioned earlier is that I will be using a rain totem in order to guarantee a lightning storm tomorrow. This is a really nice way of getting battery packs, as once you get a lightning storm, if you use a rain totem on the day that it is storming, it will guarantee stormy weather the next day. This, of course, does not include festival days and the first day of each season. Those days will always be clear weather, even if a rain totem is used the prior day. So unfortunately, we cannot use another rain totem tomorrow, since day 27 is a festival day. So these will be our last lightning storms of the year, since it cannot storm in winter. We can use a rain totem in winter to cause rain the next day, but there is no way for a storm, since rain totems will only cause rain to happen if used on a non-stormy weather day. We're now going to spend the rest of the day farming dust sprites and ore in the mines here, and of course we'll make a quick stop to give the dwarf a gift. Then we'll finish up the day continuing our farming. It looks like we managed to get over 60 coal, so not too bad. It's always nice to get a bunch of coal, and it's pretty lucrative doing it from the dust sprites with our burglar's ring, and the napalm ring is also nice in making it fast. And then with that, we move on to the next day, day 26 of fall. As I mentioned, we'll be going to Skull Cavern today, so right off the bat, we're gonna eat the spicy eel, drink the coffee, so that we can just move as fast as possible. We're gonna quickly show that it is a super luck day, and then get into the chest right away. We're gonna start grabbing everything we want to bring with us. We will be using 2 magic rock candies today. I do think they are best used if used 2 in a day rather than just 1. And I'm gonna grab that magic cowboy hat that we did buy yesterday for good luck. Although of course vanity items don't actually give you any luck or do anything for that matter. It's just kind of there for fun. We will also grab all of the ores just so that they easily stack, and we can also have them to craft bombs with, and then grab these battery packs as well, which the iridium bats do drop battery packs, so they will stack with those, so we don't have to worry about them taking up space. And then we do warp to the desert, pick up a couple triple shots, and then let's craft a bunch of mega bombs, and we're already to a floor with a bunch of monsters, but thankfully we can just leave the mine and come back in. We already got a much better floor. Any small floors like this, we're pretty much guaranteed to get a staircase when we blow up rocks from. And whenever there's big clusters, we also have a good chance. We got a hole right there already, and it's time to eat the magic rock candy. And it's a good place, I guess, because this is my favorite type of floor, although it's only floor 10, so we aren't getting a lot of iridium nodes. But it's also time to put on the magic cowboy hat. You know, things are getting serious now once we ate that magic rock candy, and we're gonna continue downward. Something that I will mention is I do spend a bit too much time killing enemies. As you can see right there, we did already have staircases to get down, but I sort of wasted some time slaying the serpents, like I do right there as well. It is not a complete waste of time though, because the enemies do drop nice loot, but if we are going for the most profit, iridium ore is the best bet, and to get iridium ore we have to get down as fast as possible. So there's definitely an argument to just rush all the way down to floor 100 and start farming iridium then, but I think I have a nice balance of gaining loot from slaying enemies and other types of ores and items, and also getting a pretty good amount of iridium in the end as well. Once we get way later in the run, like year 2, after we've done pretty much everything at Ginger Island, gotten all the upgrades, gotten pretty much all of the perfection goals except for, of course, the cooking one, we might have some random time to kill, and I might do some challenges like seeing how deep I can get in Skull Cavern, how much iridium ore I can get in Skull Cavern, just that sort of thing for fun. And at that time, of course, we'll still be min-maxing and trying to earn as much profit as we can from our farm. We've made it down to floor 46 pretty quickly, although as I'm rewatching all of this footage, I do notice I do make a bit of mistakes. Like right there, we just spent quite a bit of time killing those mummies, blowing up just 2 iridium nodes, when we probably should have just crafted a staircase to get down much faster. And I've just noticed quite a few things like that in this run, not necessarily mistakes, but more of just ways I could have done things better. So it will be interesting when I pick this run back up pretty soon. I will be picking it up pretty soon once I have enough time. I do have a bunch of footage left to cover until middle of winter, but once I pick the run back up in the middle of winter, I'll probably not be doing a lot of Skull Cavern dives at first, since the preparation for year 2 is going to be quite involved, and there's going to be a lot of planning that I'll have to do, so that's going to take a lot of real life time in itself. But once year 2 comes along and all of that, there will be a good amount of Skull Cavern dives, and it'll be interesting to see if I'm able to do them a lot better after rewatching all of these Skull Cavern dives in the run so far. We've made it down to floor 69 now, and I am including quite a bit of the footage here just because I think the more interesting part of these Skull Cavern dives is diving down, because once we get past floor like 100 and way deep into the floors, we don't focus on getting down as fast. We start to focus on just blowing up iridium nodes, and that's the part that gets mostly repetitive. Like right here, we have quite a bit of more decision making because we have to first decide do we want to skip the floor? If we want to skip the floor, we place a staircase and skip the floor. If we don't want to skip the floor, we have to decide, okay, do we want to bomb? Where do we want to bomb? Are there enemies to kill? There's a lot more planning that goes into it. Once we get to the iridium floors, sure, if there's not a lot of iridium, we might decide to skip a floor, and we might have to make decisions in that regard, but I feel like it gets a bit more repetitive and just constantly bombing. Although even having that said, I do still think that there are a lot of interesting elements to it and a good amount of thought that goes into it, even once we start just going for the iridium. And although we're still sort of in the get as deep as fast as we can mode, we don't want to miss the opportunity for this floor where there's just tons of ghosts and mummies to just slay them all, try to blow up the mummies, and just get a bunch of monster drops, because it's always satisfying doing that. We're gonna continue pushing forward here. We're almost at floor 100, and we still don't even have access to secret notes, although we've made it past floor 100 countless amount of times now. We will start to be able to get secret notes on winter day 2 once we see the shadow guy run into the bush. We get the magnifying glass, and then we can start getting secret notes, and this will be nice because we can get the luck charm, which is nice. Real quick, right here, I do eat the second magic rock candy at about 420. We just made it to floor 101. And another thing is the secret note allows us to meet Mr. Key on floor 100, and we get the iridium milk, which increases our maximum hit points, which is pretty nice. But anyways, now that we are past floor 100, we are starting to get a lot more iridium node spawns, and we're going to focus more on blowing up the ore rather than moving downward. In this run, I think I actually focus more on this than usual, and combined with overall chance, we actually just end up making it to floor 189 rather than our best run of floor 197, and the amount of iridium ore we end up with is just 525, which seems sort of low for a double magic rock candy dive with super luck. Another thing that there is to consider with the daily luck is that it does range from negative 0.1 to 0.1, and super luck is considered anything above a 0.07, so our daily luck could be anywhere from 0.07 to 0.1, so different super luck days can be more or less lucky than others. And in the end, so much of the game relies on just random chance, so there will be plenty of time where we are bound to not get as lucky. It could be argued that on a not as lucky Skull Cavern dive, I should just reset the day, but who knows, maybe I would end up with a worse haul and I wouldn't want to keep restarting the day. Hopefully in the winter we'll have some super lucrative dives, and in year 2 I'll make sure we do have some really super lucrative dives. Back to this dive, if there's anything really noteworthy in this dive, it is the total number of treasure floors we get. Unfortunately, we don't end up getting anything super exciting or valuable, but we do get 7 different treasure floors if I counted correctly, which seems like quite a bit more than usual. Anyways, we are going to finish up this dive with the usual strategies and just bomb as much iridium as we can. This will take us to the end of this day and the end of this video. Next video will be the last 2 days of fall, which is exciting, and it also means I will be making the fall recap video, which will give us a nice summary of everything we did in the month of fall for this run. The recap videos do take a very long time to plan and make, but hopefully I'll be able to stick to a weekly video upload at least. The last 2 days of fall should be pretty exciting, along with the usual resource gathering and farm tasks. On day 27, we will attend the Spirits Eve festival, and on day 28, we are actually going to start to decorate the farm a bit. So if you are looking forward to more videos, I do recommend subscribing so that you can be sure to see them when they come out. Also, please feel free to leave a comment and perhaps let me know any input you may have for the fall recap video. That is, anything you would like to make sure is included, or any ideas that you may have or would like to suggest. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.